everyone. Well, I was all prepared to do a different lesson, but I just felt overwhelming that I needed to do this one because I experienced recently watching some videos and just something someone posted on Facebook. I'm just like, oh my goodness, stop calling yourself Christians if you're not going to act like one. And so I was like, you know what? We just need to get back to the basics before we can take this faith journey with one another. We need to make sure that this is cemented in. And I think this is probably the most important thing. If we get to this place, then pretty much everything else will fall into place. So let's start with this. 1 John 4:7-9. Love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God. That's pretty specific in that we are to love others and God. And we see that in Matthew 22:34-35. Love God, love others. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And so we need to go through that lens. If whatever we're posting, saying, doing is not filtered through those two things, then we need to stop immediately or stop calling ourselves Christians, one or the other, because the Bible says we don't know God if we're not showing love. How we treat people in restaurants, how we post online, everything we do should go through the filter of love because God is love. And that is where if we're going to call ourselves Christians, which is Christ-like, then we should be implementing love into everything that we're doing. And the only time Jesus ridiculed people and yelled at people and was kind of mean to people was never the prostitute. It was not the tax collector. It was the religious leaders. And that is those people that are calling themselves Christian that are not acting in love, that are being judgmental and mean and rude. And we have got to stop doing that. We got to get back to the basics. Take that big old fat log out of our own eyes and stop looking at the little speck in someone else's eyes and saying their sin is worse than my sin. Because if we're being nasty and rude, we're literally not following God's commandment, which is to love God and love others. And so I know this is a little bit of a soapbox today, and I apologize, but I just felt really strong that we have got to start there, that everything else I'm going to talk about on this podcast does not matter if we can't do this, if we can't do this one thing, and that's love, because ultimately, our whole entire faith message should be built on love because God is love. I have a quote from Dwight Moody. The world does not understand theology or dogma, but it understands love and sympathy. We have a whole bunch of people that are going to go to hell without Jesus because they are turned off by Christianity. They're not seeing love and compassion and grace. They're seeing judgment and just mean people. I sometimes cannot believe how wrong some Christians can be. They just are mean. And so we have got to stop picking on one another, stop putting energy into picking on one another or just being nasty about whatever political party you're from or whatever. Stop that stuff and just love Jesus, love others, bring people into the fold because they want to be part of whatever we're part of. That's ultimately our responsibility, what we should be doing. And so if you are a Christian who already is showing love and compassion and doing all those things, and this message is not necessarily you think for you, then I would say if you're seeing people that are calling themselves Christians that are acting like that and you're friends with them, call them out on it because ultimately that's not okay. It's giving us a really bad reputation. And so it is, who wants to be part of that? Nobody wants to be part of that. So ultimately, all we're responsible for is loving others and loving God. And so that's my message for today. I know a little bit of a soapbox today. I apologize. But I just really think that that's super important. All right. Y'all have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.